Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for joining me once again today, and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 2. Wow, I really stuttered on that for a second. Total War Warhammer 2, that's the ticket. So, I am still playing the High Elves, and I am going up against Chaos today. This is very an interesting battle for me, because this is the first time I've actually played against Chaos in Mortal Empires. So, Chaos, of course, tends towards very heavily armored infantry. They tend to be a little bit slow, although they do have some fast units, fast cavalry and all that. They also have one very, very heavy artillery piece, the Hell Cannon, which can be very dangerous in the wrong situation. So thinking about the Chaos lineup, knowing that their infantry actually received some buffs, the Chosen received some buffs, they were already very, very powerful, and now they're more powerful yet. I said to myself, alright, so I need to be able to deal with heavy armored infantry, I need to be able to deal with flankers, and I might have to deal with monsters or cavalry, because Chaos can also bring Chaos Spawn, Giants, Dragon Ogre Shaggoths are very popular, that kind of thing. So, I brought a unit of Phoenix Guard. Just one, because they are very, very expensive, but they're so tough and so damaging against monsters, one will probably be enough. I have 2 units of Spearmen flanking them, with 1 Chevron each. That's my front line. The Spearmen I do not expect to do much work, I just expect them to kind of die slowly. I brought 2 units of White Lions. I don't know, I haven't really gotten good use out of White Lions yet, but on a stat basis, they look like they should be pretty good. They have decent melee attack and defense, at least when they're under the effects of martial prowess. They're armor piercing. So against heavily armored Chaos infantry, I hope that the White Lions will do a decent job. I brought 1 bolt thrower, just for the anti-infantry hitting power, because its anti-infantry shot is mainly armor piercing, and the bonus versus infantry, since that gets split up along the same proportions, it should be doing like 14 armor piercing damage, something like that. So should be good against armored infantry. I have 1 unit of Sword Masters of Hoeth in the back line for a countercharge unit, because these guys just do so much work against infantry, armored or not. Against Chaos Warriors, maybe even Chosen, I really need the Sword Masters to help cleave through them. Instead of a Wizard of Light for the net, I have brought a Mage of Life. And I've given them the Starwood Staff and the Book of Hoeth for their regeneration, magic replenishment capabilities. I've got Regrowth, I've got Earth Blood, and I have the Awakening of the Wood. Not mainly for the damage, but for the 48% speed debuff. I'm hoping I can possibly use that against flankers, or something. I'm not sure. I haven't really used Awakening of the Wood much, but life magic in general, especially with Life Bloom, seems like it could be a good idea to have Earth Blood and Regrowth around, and I didn't want to use the net. I wanted to kind of get away from the net, experiment with other magical options. So that's my infantry core and the magical support. I have brought a unit of Dragon Princes. Dragon Princes are very high stats, very high cost. I haven't really been able to make them pay off much. In some matchups they do pretty well. I wanted to see how they do against the heavily armored Chaos troops. They don't have armor piercing, but I mean, they do some AP damage, and they have that ridiculous charge bonus, so hopefully they can do pretty well. They also have 25% physical resist on top of all their armor and shield, so they should at least not die quickly. And then I have 1 Tyrannok Chariot, because I really like Tyrannok Chariots, and they do have that 18 bonus versus infantry and okay armor piercing damage. So even against heavily armored infantry, they should do some work. Plus, they have that ranged attack, which is magical and all, and pretty cool. So hopefully they'll be able to justify themselves. I have a Lord. It is, as usual, a Prince on a Dragon. But this time it's a Star Dragon instead of a Sun Dragon. And that's because a Flying Lord is a bit of a risky pick against Chaos, because Chaos, like many factions, can, if they want to invest in it, they can bring a decent flying goon squad. Here they've kind of got a small one. So I was looking at the dragons and I was like, you know what, if I'm only going to have 1 dragon, and I didn't want to shell out for 2, I think I probably want the toughest dragon available. So I took the Star Dragon. It is slower, but stat-wise it's much, much better. More weapon strength, more attack, more defense, more armor, and a lot more HP than the Sun Dragon. Plus, its breath is armor piercing, and it's a little more focused, so it can do better damage against large targets, which is what I was worried about. So, let's kind of go on slow-mo here to start things off. My opponent has brought a heavy infantry line. He's got some Forsaken, Chaos Warriors with great weapons, standard Chaos Warriors in the center, more Chaos Warriors with great weapons, more Forsaken. In the back, he has 1 unit of Chaos Marauders with great weapons right here. and another over here by his Hell Cannon. He did bring a Hell Cannon. And he has 2 units of Chaos Warhounds with poison. So, since he brought a Hell Cannon, I am going to lose the artillery fight, and I noticed that immediately. First thing I looked for. In the air, he has brought a Chaos Lord on a Chaos Dragon. So stat-wise, if you compare the Chaos Lord to the Prince on the Star Dragon, the Chaos Dragon is not bad, but not quite as good. 70 armor, 5589 HP, so the Star Dragon has more HP, more armor, slightly more leadership, more melee attack, and more melee defense, as well as a little bit more weapon damage, slightly lower charge bonus. The Hell Cannon is starting to fire, but I believe it's firing at the Prince, who is not going to be hit by a Hell Cannon bolt. At least not unless he's running straight towards it. So the Chaos Lord has brought... let me see. No, come here. Stand or Die, Deadly Onslaught, the Pendant of Slanesh. Is that one new? I think that one might be new. That's a big melee attack buff, but it only recharges if engaged in melee. The Filth Mace, which gives him weapon damage and terror and poison, which is pretty cool. Foe Seeker, Dark Fire of Chaos, so that's his breath attack. Good versus large combatants, strong versus a single unit. So this is kind of like the Star Dragon breath. And then Terror and Courage, all that kind of stuff. He's also brought a Chaos Sorcerer of Fire on a Manticore with the Scroll of Shielding, Flaming Sword of Ruin, Fireball, and Kindle Flame. So mainly this guy exists to be a sniper and to provide fire damage buffs. So this is kind of a mini goon squad. It's not a very powerful one because the Chaos Sorcerer on the Manticore isn't really all that powerful a combatant, but the two in combination might be able to take out my Lord. Obviously, Chaos has gone very, very heavy on infantry. They've got the Hell Cannon, so I can't sit back and play defensively because I am out-artilleried. So I'm pulling my cavalry back a little bit to ensure that it doesn't get Hell Cannoned. The Flying Squad and the Infantry line are both moving forward and shifting over towards this hill. The Chaos Warhounds are staying back here hidden where I can't see them. My artillery is going to start shooting, but like I said, I'm not going to be able to win an artillery fight here. So I'm just going to lay some fire on these Chaos Warriors, do a little bit of damage, a few hundred points, not bad. He shoots a fireball at me, and I hit Foe Seeker. I'm not sure if that was it or if it was going to miss anyway, but I just barely dodged that fireball. He's coming right in after me, but decided to pull back when he saw me moving back towards my army. I think he was afraid of the bolt thrower support. But you can see he's already gotten a good hit on my spearmen with that Hell Cannon. I'm firing the bolts. They're not really going to do anything, but I think they scared him off, so good for me. My spearmen are getting wrecked. I cannot, at this point I go, okay, I cannot sit back here. So I've got to start moving forward. Look at that pile of dead spearmen already. And the bolt thrower is going to go back to shooting at the Chaos Warriors with great weapons where it can do a little bit of damage, as opposed to the 0 damage it is going to do against the Chaos Lord. So yeah, I'm whittling them down very, very slowly. Over here, I actually shouldn't have been looking away. I got a breath attack in on the Chaos Lord. Did a whole bunch of damage. Almost 2,000 points of damage. And now my Prince is going to pop his buffs, and he's actually going to win this fight. Like I said, the Manticore is not a great fighter. The Chaos Lord is slightly inferior to the Star Dragon, and especially with the missile support of the Turnok Chariot and the Bolt Thrower, which I believe I'm turning back onto this fight. The Chaos Lord just gets wrecked. Look at that. He gets absolutely torn apart by the Star Dragon. The infantry lines are going to clash here. The White Lions going up against the Forsaken is not exactly the matchup they want, especially not with that Hell Cannon coming in. Ouch. The Forsaken do have a ton of weapon strength. Now, they only have 75% armor, but still, the White Lions will do a little bit of damage at least. But over here, these Chaos Warhounds with poison are dropping their stats. They're just in a bad spot. The only place I'm doing well in this fight is here, where my Swordmasters of Hoeth are backing up the spears, and here where I have the Phoenix Guard. My Mage of Life is throwing down some heals, but too late. Those spearmen are already gone. These White Lions also pretty much gone. Poison Warhound sweeping around to get my Eagle Claws. I charged my cavalry and chariots both into these Forsaken in an effort to just take them off the field, but they got the Flaming Sword of Ruin, and they got the Chaos Sorcerer charging in to help, so I'm going to have to pull out and disengage. My Lord has chased the Chaos Lord almost to the edge of the map, then pulled back, because I desperately need his help in this fight. Unfortunately, the Chaos Lord rallied immediately as soon as I turned around. My Mage is now been caught by these Chaos Warriors. Over here, my White Lions have already broken. They did at least score 35 kills, so that's, you know, something. The Dragon Princes are charging back in. I was trying to pull my mage out, and I dropped an Awakening of the Wood to slow these guys so I could escape. A nice little breath attack gets 30 kills. He's going to try to breathe on me, I think, but I saw him coming and turned to attack, and it doesn't really seem to go off. So I'm not sure what happened there, but I think he was trying to breathe on me. Doesn't matter, because now we're in melee and I am winning. My Dragon Princes, with that Hell Cannon fire, they're not doing well. In fact, they're getting torn apart by the Chaos Warhounds and the Chaos Warriors, which is really, really sad. They did manage to break these Forsaken before they went, though. Over here, the Phoenix Guard are just holding like a wall. These guys are impervious. That heavy, heavy armor plus 30% physical resistance. These Chaos Marauders and Chaos Warriors are getting torn apart. Over here, similarly, the Swordmasters are just chewing through these Chaos Warriors with great weapons. No problem. Turnok Chariot kind of sitting back, getting a few shots off. My Prince has now dived onto his Chaos Lord and murked him. The Chaos Lord is down, and I'm now pulling out to get back up into the air because I don't want to be on the ground where all these Chaos Warriors can get at me. My Dragon Princes, the Dragon Princes are going away. So, I've won the infantry fight very convincingly in the center, even though I lost it on the flanks. And now, these Forsaken, I'm getting another nice breath on those Chaos Warriors, so up to 67 kills, which is pretty impressive. Basically, my valuable infantry just really came through for me. I mean, if they had run into Chosen, maybe it would have done damage, but beyond that, the Tyrannok Chariot got into these Chaos Marauders with great weapons. They're doing a lot of damage. They're also taking a lot of damage because I'm not microing them at the moment. I'm focused on other units. My Lord has once again dived down in order to rout these units with terror. My Dragon Princes have caught the Chaos Sorcerer and are just holding him in place so that my mage can hopefully escape. Because of the Awakening of the Wood, he is faster than the Chaos Warhounds at the moment. So he's going to charge in there, do his best against the Chaos Sorcerer, and die, I'm sure. But hey, at least he'll have contributed, you know? My Tyrannok Chariots are getting routed off. They have 49 kills, so they did alright, but nothing to write home about. But the Prince is still very, very healthy with 75 kills, and now is coming over to land on the Warhounds and Chaos Sorcerer and drive them off for good. These units chased a little bit far, and now they're only now coming back, but they did shatter those Forsaken, which was good, because I do not want those guys coming back into the fight. The Phoenix Guard, meanwhile, are single-handedly pursuing a good half the Chaos Army right here, and they're going to swing around and go for the Hell Cannon, because I've got to shut it down. The Hell Cannon is really the only threatening thing left on the field. I think my Prince just ate a Fireball at point-blank range, but it's not going to save this Chaos Sorcerer, because his melee stats are just too low. Even with the Scroll of Shielding, this is not a fight that he can win. So, my mage has come back. The few ragged survivors of my Dragon Princes have come back and are healing a little bit from that Lore of Life ability. I just dropped Regrowth on my Prince, just to make sure. The Chaos Marauders with great weapons are charging in. I actually stopped the Phoenix Guard here to take advantage of their bracing, because they do have charge defense versus all. So now they're going to just murder these Chaos Marauders with great weapons in no time flat. These ones are coming over, but they're being chased by the Sword Masters. At this point, although the balance of power is about even, the battle is over at this point. My Prince is chasing off the Chaos Sorcerer. My Dragon Princes have routed the Chaos Warhounds, despite there only being 6 of them. Good job, guys. My Phoenix Guard, there is nothing left that can threaten the Phoenix Guard except the Hell Cannon, and they are actually within its minimum firing distance, I believe. It actually landed a hit on the Prince. I mean, props to that Hell Cannon crew, but that's not going to stop them. I have a flying unit that causes terror. I have all the heaviest infantry left on the field. Most of his units are dead. My Dragon Princes are just kind of acting as spoilers right now, picking up a couple last-minute kills, and the Phoenix Guard are not going to be stopped. They're just stubbornly marching forward through anything the enemy can throw at them to mulch the Hell Cannon, and at this point, army losses kick in, and everything routes, except for the Hell Cannon, because it's unbreakable, so for the next 30 seconds, we just have to kind of sit there and murder the Hell Cannon crew. But that is the game. So, that was an interesting one. Like I said, it was my first time playing against Chaos in Mortal Empires. I have to say, I was a little disappointed by my White Lions. Now, I know They didn't get into favorable matchups. One of them had the Hell Cannon firing at it, and one of them got the Poison Warhounds involved. And that was all bad, but I just really wanted them to do better. And they didn't. So I'm still not sold on White Lions. I think they do have niches where they're useful. Maybe one or two as countercharge units, but certainly for frontline duty, they don't impress me very much. Not compared to Chaos Warriors. Chaos Warriors with great weapons are very, very good, and I'm not certain that White Lions are that good. The Phoenix Guard. Oh my gosh, the Phoenix Guard. These guys just ate, I think, 3 units, one after another. Just no pause, no hesitation. They lost less than a third of their health, if I was correct. And they went through Chaos Warriors, they went through Forsaken, they went through Chaos Warriors with great weapons, they went through Chaos Marauders with great weapons. That high defense skill, combined with the 30% physical resistance, makes them very, very tough to kill in melee. And of course, their high attack and armor piercing means that they can do exceptionally well against enemy infantry. Swordmasters, similar. They are very high statted, and they do a ton of damage versus infantry. So these 2 units definitely paid for themselves in this battle. The Dragon Princes, less so. Now, he countered the Dragon Princes relatively effectively, but at the same time, I did cycle charge with them a couple of times. I just don't feel like they're worth 1,400. I don't know. Maybe they are. In certain contexts, I'm sure they are, but really all of their damage is front-loaded on that massive, massive charge bonus. And without armor piercing or any kind of bonus, they just don't really do work the way I want cavalry to do. Now, they are tough. I mean, they survived until the very end of the battle, despite being in a couple of mosh pits. And they did score 44 kills against heavily armored units, so... Okay, I think mainly the Dragon Princes... I think their main role, rather, is pretty much just to survive till the end of the battle, and then run disruption duties on the units that are left. Because every time I've tried Dragon Princes, that's pretty much how it's worked out. They're so tough, and with that 25% physical resist and 110 armor and all of that, some of them will tend to live and rally at the end of the battle, unless they are specifically singled out to be chased off. And if they can do that, then the last 6 or 10 or 12 or however many there are of them can run disruption, which can be quite useful. But in terms of actual direct killing power, I don't think they pay off. Tyrannog Chariot, solid job, decent, nothing too terribly exceptional, but decent. The Bolt Thrower did not pay off in this match. I'm going to keep bringing it. It didn't pay off mainly because I made the conscious choice to abandon it, to not even try to defend it, because I needed all of my units in the front line, and I had to charge because the Hell Cannon was going to wreck me if I didn't. On Desya's army, the Chaos Lord and Chaos Sorcerer, they're, I think, decent choices. They're not enough to take on a High Elf Lord on a Star Dragon. If I was on a Sun Dragon, they would have eaten me alive. On a Star Dragon, as I was, these 2 are not enough. The Star Dragon Breath, combined with all the buffs he can drop on himself, combined with the generally higher stats of the Star Dragon, mean that he's going to win an aerial combat unless he's double-teamed by tougher units than this. Maybe if this had been an Exalted Hero on a Manticore, it would have been better, but I think really Chaos would have needed to bring 3 flying units in order to take him out. So, and given the amount of investment that would be, I'm not sure it's worth it for Chaos to try. I think Chaos might be better off taking Kolek Suneater or one of their ground lords and just trying to win the battle on the ground as opposed to in the sky. The Chaos Warriors with great weapons were, of course, a very solid pick. They always are. The Forsaken did pretty well, except for the unit that got into the Swordmasters. They got mulched, but hey, that's what happens when you go up against Swordmasters. The Chaos Warhounds with Poison also did quite well for their cost. This one ate an artillery piece, and this one, both of them ran disruption and got poison on my units and all that. Actually, this might be the one that got into the White Lions of Trace, I'm not sure. Anyway, they ate an artillery piece, they shattered a unit of White Lions, they did good. And the Hell Cannon did pretty good as well. Although it was shooting at Spearmen for a while, it probably should have been shooting at Phoenix Guard, because if it had weakened those by a significant margin before the combat, that would have been a big victory. But anyway, good game to my opponent Desya. Hope to see you around the ladder again sometime. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll be having more of these in the near future. I'm not done with High Elves just yet. We got a couple more battles to go, so stay tuned, and I'll see you tomorrow.